welcome back. And we call this Stay Warm Classics. And these are easy, good recipes that you can feed your whole family. And Marie Hegler is here, my dear friend, and she is here with all these goodies.
Yes.
You're from Clemson University. All right. And, well, you know, she's a good cook, but, you know, she has an official title, Food Safety and Nutrition Agent. That's just too...
Yes.
I just say you're a good cook.
It's pretty wordy. It sounds real official.
Oh, yeah.
So now that we're back, what we've done is we had onions, celery, carrots in the pan. We added mushrooms to it. We let those soften, and then I just now threw the chicken back in.
All right.
So currently we have all of the goodies all together, marrying in flavors, which is delightful. So now what we're going to be adding are the liquid. So we're going to need some liquid, of course, to make a creamy sauce. The first of which I've got is reduced sodium chicken broth. And we're going to add 4 cups of that.
All right.
Which is a whole container, 32-ounce container.
Okay.
So you can just buy.
So you just buy the container and there you go. You don't even need to measure.
Which is the beauty of it.
And that's low sodium?
Yeah, low sodium. Because I'm going to add some salt to this. So I like to add my own salt.
So you don't want too much salt, so it's better to buy
and this still has sodium in it.
Yeah.
It's just not as much. Okay. So that is 4 cups of reduced sodium chicken broth. And then I'm going to hike this temperature up. And then we're going to be throwing in 2 cups of half and half, which is going to give it that creamy
oh boy,
flavor that we all love.
Okay.
So we got that going.
Now this will serve, you know, quite a few people, I would think. Yeah.
So we're going to bring this up to a boil. So while we're waiting on that, I'm going to start throwing in some seasonings.
All right.
And I have to check my recipe for this so I get this correct. So we're going to add, again, you could add fresh garlic in that mix of carrots and onions and celery, but I'm going to add it just in the garlic powder form, which we're going to throw in a teaspoon of garlic powder. And this is a half teaspoon, so I'm going to throw in 2 of these. So 1 teaspoon garlic powder, a half a teaspoon, make sure I'm doing this right, half a teaspoon dried thyme. And again, if you had fresh thyme, that would be good too. And you would just throw in some thyme sprigs, that would be really good. So half teaspoon dry thyme.
All right, I keep stirring.
Keep on stirring, and we're going to do a half a teaspoon of sage, ground sage, which is, I feel like we only really use at Thanksgiving, so it's kind of nice to throw it in.
Yeah.
Another.
You want to use it, sure. Okay.
So a half a teaspoon of dried sage. I had a little bit more than I needed in there. And then we're going to do a half a teaspoon of paprika. Gives it a little color. And then we're going to add, am I throwing any salt in there? A teaspoon of salt. So that was need 2 of these because it's a half a teaspoon that I have. Bloop, bloop.
All right.
And then, I got salt everywhere. Whoops. So we're going to just let that do its thing. We're going to wait till it boils, and then we're going to be adding in our noodles to that, as well as some frozen veggies. But while that is getting...
All right. I'll keep stirring.
You keep stirring.
Okay.
I'm going to start making our broccoli slaw, which... I don't know, I mean, I call it a slaw. I don't know if it technically is a slaw. We're using the broccoli coleslaw, or the broccoli slaw that you can buy. I think it's broccoli coleslaw.
You buy this already
in a bag.
Yeah.
It's a 12-ounce package, and you can see it's just julienne bits. And what this is the stalk of the broccoli, which acts a lot like cabbage, or it tastes a lot like cabbage. So that's just broccoli, the stalk shaved down, and there's some carrots and some cabbage in there. This recipe I kind of based off of a bag salad that I loved that had broccoli, slaw, but it also had slices of Brussels sprouts and kale. And it was a salad, but it ended up kind of as a slaw once you added the dressing. So I was like, I should make this because every time I go to the store, they don't have it. So I figured out how to make it on my own. So we've got
for you.
12 ounces of broccoli slaw right there. And then we are going to add 2 tablespoons and these are the ingredients that make it kind of unique, 2 tablespoons of roasted pumpkin seeds.
Okay.
Now, if you wanted to, you could add your own, whatever kind of seed. I mean, you could do a nut. You could do any kind of crunchy element to it. So this is 2 tablespoons, and this is a 12-ounce package of the slaw. So if you had more people involved, you could add more to it.
Okay.
And then we have a 1/4 cup of dried sweetened cranberries that I'm going to throw in there too.
Oh, that's pretty too. It makes it colorful. That's nice.
I'm going to set this aside because I'm going to make the dressing, which is going to be put in the mason jar.
Is this cooking? It doesn't seem like it's doing much.
Yeah, it's cooking. It's just taking a minute to boil.
Well, okay.
It's almost there. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in these noodles. So, should specify. This is a 8-ounce package of just hearty home-style egg noodles.
Egg noodles.
So they're these kind of like flat little
Yeah.
dumpling-looking
Okay.
things. You could, if you want to, throw in whatever kind of pasta you like. So you don't have to use egg noodles. I like them because they come off like a dumpling.
All right.
Or you could make dumplings in this. That's a whole other thing that would be great. So you could use whatever, macaroni, elbow, whatever you want. So we're just doing 8 ounces of that.
Wow. We've got enough food here for quite a few people.
A lot of people.
This is nice.
All right. And you'll see, like, what's going to happen is it's going to start thickening up because you've just got pasta in there. Even though you've got all this liquid ingredients, that's going to thicken up a good bit.
Yeah, it's
So,
just starting to boil now.
yeah.
All right.
We're going to just let that go. All right, so for our slaw, so we've got our craisins, we've got our pumpkin seeds, we've got our broccoli slaw. Now we're going to make a poppy seed dressing.
Okay.
And this was the thing I was trying to figure out because the dressing is what kind of made the bag salad that I was trying to emulate. So poppy seed dressing, you can make it a lot of different ways. And you always hear about lemon poppy seed, but there's no lemon in this. This is just plain poppy seed.
All right.
And so what we're going to start off with is, and I put it in a mason jar because I can shake it as a dressing. And you could, again, I made is just enough to add to the coleslaw, but if you like poppy seed dressing, you can just make a bulk of it.
You could make it ahead. All right.
So we are going to be adding a 1/4 of a cup of vegetable oil. And I have a little more than I'm supposed to have in there. Let's see. Okay, that's good. So that's a 1/4 of a cup of vegetable oil. And then for the tangy component, we're going to be adding 2 tablespoons of vinegar. Just white vinegar. And you could add, you could do apple cider vinegar would be really good in this. All right, and then, let me see, we're gonna add some ground mustard, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground mustard. And you could also, if you had like Dijon mustard, you could throw that in there, be good. So 1/2 teaspoon of that. And then we're gonna add a 1/2 teaspoon of poppy seeds, because we gotta have poppy seeds.
Okay.
And then, just to add some texture to it, we're going to be adding a little bit of mayonnaise.
Okay.
So some recipes, when I was looking at, because I've never really made a poppy seed dressing, some recipes would call for like, it would start off with a base of mayonnaise, and you know, mayonnaise is just made out of vegetable oil and eggs and that kind of thing. So there was like thickened already component. So I just was like, I'm just going to add a little bit to it just to make it a little thicker and not use all plain mayonnaise. So we're going to add a teaspoon, so it's not very much, a teaspoon of just mayonnaise to it. And you don't have to, it's optional. And then we're going to shake this up. You see, it looks like
Okay. That's all there is to it. Don't let that lid come off.
No, it's not.
We would really have a mess.
Yeah. So, so we let this cook, these noodles cook for a while, and then, or for a minute, and then, so I'm going to be adding some frozen vegetables, which I let thaw.
So this is fabulous because this will feed a lot of people. It'd be great on a cold winter night, or you can make it ahead of time.
Yes.
That's the beauty of it.
And it's not, I've had it left over for him where he just heated up and it was real good too.
Leftovers are okay too?
Yeah.
All right.
So
Now,
I'm going to add, I'm putting the
what
2
have
cups
you got there? This
of
is
classic mixed vegetables.
all right. Just
So this
mixed
has
vegetables. You got greens and corn and carrots and green beans and
Yes.
peas. It looks like a little bit of everything in there.
So you could, you know, whatever you put in your pot pie, feel free to put in here, except for Yeah, I guess if you had like a frozen, you know, if there's potatoes or whatever in that, you would want to make sure those are cooked before you go in. So this is 16 ounces? 16 ounces, about 2 cups of frozen vegetables, whatever you want to throw in there. I let them sit out for a while, like while I'm cooking and stuff, so they don't have to be completely thawed,
But thawing them a little bit helps.
helps, yeah, for them
okay.
to cook. Because we're gonna cook this, once we add these, this will cook for about a few minutes just to make sure that they're done. So
Is this okay?
Yeah, you can kind of see that's getting a little limp. So we're gonna add this to it. All that fruit. See, look at this pot of goodness.
My goodness.
Lots of stuff.
You could invite the whole neighborhood in.
Right. You should.
Okay,
Be a
this
good
is
neighbor.
great.
All right, so we're gonna let that cook for a little bit of a minute, and we're just gonna wait till that kind of starts. Everything, you know, is
And
obviously
you want those
done.
noodles to be tender.
Yeah, and you gotta want the noodles to be tender. So we're gonna let that cook down, and then while we do that, we're gonna go ahead and dress our slaw.
All right. Well, I can watch it and keep stirring
All
so
right,
it doesn't
you
stick.
keep on stirring, and I'm gonna dress this slaw.
Well, this is really and truly, Marie, this is beautiful.
Yeah, it is a real pretty dish. All right, so what we have in here is, again, your broccoli slaw, your pumpkin seeds, and also your craisins. I'm gonna grab a spoon back here.
I can't guarantee what's there.
I found
Oh,
one.
yeah. Okay.
So it's a big spoon. So I'm gonna toss that together. I might do that with my hands before I do it, because they're clean.
I hope we've made you hungry. I'm getting hungry just being here in the kitchen with Marie.
Yes. And this is one of, both of these I think are like one of those dishes that, you know, after a day of being in the refrigerator and letting them kind of sit and do its own, then when you
They get
eat
better.
it again, like this slaw, you know,
Yeah.
After it's been sitting and kind of with the poppy seed dressing, it goes real good. So I'm gonna go ahead and dress this. And you can see it's kind of, let me see if I can.
So this is a wonderful stay warm classic. And we'd love to share it with you. And on the back, it lists the vegetables that are in season in the winter time, where you can get them and they're fresh and they're usually less expensive because they're in season. And this recipe with the broccoli slaw that Marie's doing, it's all here, and we're really pleased to send it to you. And of course, because of Marie and Clemson University, it's free. But if you can do the self-addressed stamped envelope, we appreciate that very much. And the recipe number is 920. And just send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the Peggy Denny Show, Post Office Box 1616, Greenville, South Carolina, 29602. And we'll get it on its way to you as soon as we can. And be a little patient, we get a lot of mail. So sometimes we get backed up with things, but we'll get it to you. And this is a nice folder, especially Stay Warm Classics.
Yes.
That's good. Oh, look at that.
Throwing this all around.
Oh, Marie, you've outdone yourself. This is great.
So this is a good little accompaniment to that, just because it's a little bit lighter.
And this
it's
would serve
sweeter.
a lot of people.
Yeah. Like I said,
You know.
6 to 8. We'll see how many, depending on
Yeah,
again
I
how
mean-
hungry you are. I always put like serving sizes on my stuff, but then I'm like, I don't know. It depends on how many or how hungry
Yeah,
somebody
but
is.
you know, and it's great as a leftover, so you can't lose.
So this is our little ramekin of slaw. I'm trying to make it look pretty. And again, if you let this sit for a little bit
Oh, that's pretty.
at room temperature, it's real good. All right, and then, so the beauty of this dish right here is that once everything's cooked, and it sits for a second, the sauce starts to thicken.
Okay,
So
because right now it's
it's
kind
got
of
a
soupy.
soup consistency, but once you turn that heat off and you just let it chill first, chill
Well,
for a
you
second.
want to cook it long enough that these noodles are cooked.
Yeah, and they're limping now. Because you got to think about too, you're throwing in frozen stuff, so it does take.
Yeah, it takes a little
It takes
while.
about 15 minutes from.
And then just let
Start.
it sit there and cool down on its own.
And then it'll so when you reheat this, it's going to be a little thicker.
Oh, this is the beautiful Stay Warm Classic folder. And thank you for bringing it to us and making it possible. So, look at that. Oh, that's luscious.
It is luscious.
Yeah. And it's important, especially, you know, in the wintertime when it's cold or it's, you know, you're running in and out and you want to stay warm because you want to stay well. And good nutrition is very important at this time of year.
So, yeah. And also, like I said before, so you normally on chicken pot pie you have a crust and there's a crispy component. You could do a couple of different things. You could throw in some when you spoon it out. And I do serve this in a bowl, even though like it's better in a bowl because it is kind of a thicker consistency. But but then you can top it with some breadcrumbs, some panko breadcrumbs, or just breadcrumbs. Or you could throw in those like fried onions, things that you put on.
Or you can serve it with some good French bread and some fruit. You've got a fabulous meal.
You do.
Stay Warm Classics. Thank you very much, Marie Hegler from Clemson University, my good friend.
Yes.
Thank you. Come back soon, will you?
I will.
And wherever you are, we just wish you good health and happiness as the year begins. Stay happy and stay warm.